What's up, guys? It's Rey-Jay back with another video. And in this one, I wanted to break down what's happening with SPY, Tesla, Nvda, the QQQ, and a couple of other tickers. And to break down what's happening with the economic calendar moving forward, what you should be watching for as time goes on for the markets. But just know that I am not a financial planner, so take nothing I say as financial advice. And also, if you guys can, please check out my Moomoo link. If you deposit $100, you're guaranteed 5 free stocks. If you deposit $1,000, you're guaranteed 15 in total, not to mention an 8.1% APY on uninvested cash. The offer ends in just a couple of weeks. Anyways, right now the market is holding up very nicely. We are trying to push higher. There's a good chance we try to continue a bit as we open because of CPI data. Now, right now, core CPI was at 0.3%, and then core CPI year over year was at 3.3% for the month of November. That's basically all aligned with expectations on the core side. For all items, CPI month over month was at 0.3%, and then year over year, CPI for all items was at 2.7%. Once again, everything was aligned with expectations. Now, there's not any other major piece of data coming out for the majority of the day, for the rest of the day, so just keep that in mind. And overall, the data is looking quite decent. Now, for CPI for all items, there was a slight increase compared to before, but that's exactly what we expected at 2.7%. And then on the core side, everything is just the same. It's very flat right now. So this is all exactly what the market was expecting. That's why the market's popping. Not really much of a surprise. However, just know this: for all items CPI, even though there's a slight increase, it's only by 0.1%. So it's not really much of a move. It's very, very minor. So don't worry too much about it going up a bit. For now, the market is more optimistic, and then we'll see how well these levels end up holding up. The S&P 500 futures are holding up as November inflationary report was aligned with expectations. And then for earnings, just know this. This morning we had Macy's announce earnings. Later on, we have Adobe. Then we have Costco tomorrow. Macy's earnings were not that great. Their guidance when it comes to their EPS was lowered. It used to be at about 2.34 to 2.69. That's dollars per share, but then it got lowered to about 2.25 to $2.50 in that range. So that's a little bit weaker for EPS. Revenue increased in terms of its expectations from 22.3 billion to about 22.5 billion, a slight increase in expectations. However, when it comes to their actual earnings, EPS was at 4 cents adjusted, which is not bad, and the revenue is at $4.74 billion, a little bit below expectations. So, in my opinion, I think that guidance was mixed, but then their guidance were their overall earnings were so. That's why the share price is down. It wasn't as strong as what investors were hoping for. Besides that, there's not really much else that's coming out. So let's now just focus on the charts and nothing else from this point on. What do I see for us moving forward? Well, SPY is pushing right now, so upon open, expect a pump. As long as we don't do 604.84 and then 604 flat, we favor upside. If 604 fails us, we will be dipping back down to these imbalances, but that looks very unlikely. For now, we're favoring a push upon open, back up to about 606. If that breaks, we're going back to the range between 606 and 609, so we could even continue to push. This looks more bullish to me, so I'm favoring more upside for 606 plus. And overall, the market's doing a good job at holding up. For ES, we look more bullish as long as you don't do 60, 68, and 60, 62. This is favoring that it wants to push higher to this imbalance up here towards 60, 80. So 60, 80 looks like a nice target. As long as you don't lose the key support, there is a lot of potential in ES at least moving forward. For others out there, such as Nvda, we look more bullish as long as you don't lose 137. We're favoring a move back up for 139 to 140.15. So overall, look for an attempt to push up closer to about 138. As long as 137.06 does not fail us. If it does fail, we do have that gap below to fill down here. But that's looking very unlikely. It's unlikely we come all the way down to fill that gap. Instead, we're favoring a push for 139 or above. For Bitcoin, we're looking more bullish as long as you don't lose 98,045. We're favoring a push all the way up to about that 100,000 mark. So I think there's a very, very good chance we try to push higher for those levels. So I think Bitcoin has a lot of potential, at least up there. As far as others go, such as Tesla, we're looking pretty good. Look for a test of 410. If we break that, 414 to 420 becomes a stronger possibility. I most definitely see potential in Tesla to reach those levels. As long as you don't lose 404 to come back down to 400, Tesla favors upside, back up to 410 and 414. For NQ, we look more bullish as long as we don't lose 21,484. This is favoring a push for about 21,550 to 21,600 above that. So overall, it's looking quite good. For the QQQ, we look more bullish as long as you don't lose a 521.5. We're favoring a push up to about 525. Then eventually, this imbalance up here at 525.8 could be coming. So we look more bullish on the 4-hour time frame. For Apple, we're on a very, very nice uptrend right now. we could be looking for an attempt to get up to 250 as long as 248 does not break. If it does break, 245 becomes a possibility, but that's looking unlikely. It looks like we're favoring 250 as the more probable possibility. For the IWM, we're looking like we're trying to rebound. However, just look at this channel. We haven't officially broken past the channel. If we break past 239, we're looking for essentially the 240s. So we'll give this some more time to perpetuate. For others out there, we have Coin. Coin is looking quite decent. We're trying to rebound here. As long as we don't lose 311, we're favoring a push for 315.78, eventually 320. So look for a push for 315 or so. For Amazon, we look more bullish. As long as we don't lose 225, we're favoring a push for 227.5. Once again, doing a good job in the process. For Meta, so long as 620 does not fail us to come back down to 614, this is favoring a push attempt for about 628 or so. So I do see potential in this. For Microsoft, we're looking decent. We're consolidating at 444. We'll see if we can try to get back above 445 or not. Otherwise, it's kind of consolidating right now in the morning. As long as it doesn't lose 441.5, we're just going to likely consolidate. I think that Google looks a little bit weaker because it already pumped so much yesterday and grabbed liquidity up here. So it might attempt to get back up to 188, but it could slow down as time goes on to cool off on the RSI to retest 185. That would be completely normal. This already pumped so much, so it wouldn't be a surprise, in my opinion, if it were to dip a little bit. So with that being said, as far as the market is going, we're looking very bullish on SPY. It looks like it wants to continue. However, let me just warn you guys to not be way too comfortable in a way where you just expect it to just pump and pump and pump. Be careful with your levels and don't forget to manage risks and then set stops. Not financial advice when I say that, but I'm just trying to say that we'll see how well the market sustains these levels. Yes, this is the first day we're trying to see a rebound after 2 days of selling. So we'll give the market some time to progress and make sure you watch your levels very, very closely. The last thing I want to talk about is the VIX before I conclude this video. The VIX is on a bit of a downtrend here. So as long as we hold below 13.84, as long as we don't reclaim that, this is favoring and might be dumping to fill this gap here, which suggests that there is more upside potential for the markets for a nice continuation of this rally. Now, could this be the Santa rally? Is the Santa rally about to continue? It is looking like that so far, but we'll be a little bit cautious just to be safe to see how well we hold above the levels, especially our main supports on SPY. If we could get back above like 607, that would be very bullish. We could try to get back up to these highs again. So we'll see about that. Anyways, that is it for my video. Make sure you watch your key levels very, very closely. I'll be back in a couple of hours to give you guys another update. I'll be watching to see if these levels hold, and then I'll let you guys know how things are looking in just a couple of hours. So until then, I hope you guys have an absolutely fantastic rest of your day. I'll see you guys in about 2 or so hours from now for another update. And just know the market's looking very resilient after a nice CPI. Let's see if support holds. And with that being said, I appreciate you guys so much for listening. Have a good rest of your day, guys. Be very, very patient in the market like this. And let's see how well the market sustains these levels. Thank you so much for listening, and peace out.